Alright, your Specsintact Learning Guide Series, Quick Start in Numeric, copyright to NASA 2004. Chapter 6, Tips and Tools. In this chapter, you will learn how to use handy tools that come in Specsintact, tips, shortcuts, editing techniques to make your work easier, proper use of symbols and capitalization, how to fix errors, discrepancies that appear on the question and answer report, what information the list can provide, how to restore a job from an archived backup copy, and how to use the checklist to make sure you're ready to deliver the final job. In this chapter, you will present additional tips tools that help you more effectively produce a finished job as we guide. The introduction of Quick Start is not intended to cover over every aspect of using the software. You should use it in conjunction with the other tools provided with the Specsintact or on our website. As you continue working with Specsintact, you will find methods that work best for you, which as most of the software there are several ways to access functions and perform tasks with little experience. You'll discover how to streamline your work process. Some of the basic pages of the chapter are designed to be printed with a quick reference charts that you may keep at the desk if your work. There are also pages dedicated to helping you fix errors, discrepancies found in each of the question and answer report. In addition, with the features we covered in the previous chapter, Specsintact has some other handy tools that you can use along the way. Alright, customizing your view. Here are a few changes you make to adapt what you see on the screen in Specsintact Explorer. Column headers. By using the view menu, you can change the information that appears in the right pane on the special Specsintact Explorer by either adding or removing column heads. See caution below. Alright, setup menu, or you can go to setup menu options, general tab, allow your adjusting settings that will control various functions as well as resetting some of the defaults. Colors, you can change the color on your job, master file icons, right clicking on them and choosing the icon color option with the right click menu. Alright, keeping track. There are tools that you might find useful in tracking some of the information about your job. The job property box accessed from the file menu property toolbar button has additional tabs for tracking information. The schedule screen lets you keep with track of the review states, the status, and dates and hours expanded. The specifier state screen lets you assign different engineers to specific designs. The options screen lets you choose your unit measure, use the revisions of the master format version. Now lets you choose the automatic paragraph numbering numeric alphanumeric. The comment screen always free from free form entry. The additional automatic date and time steps into each. Properties boxes also has the print button in the lower left, so that you can produce a printed copy of the information. You can use the setup options specifiers tab to make a reusable list of specifiers that will be available from the drop-down box on specifier screen mentioned above. Alright, exclamation point. Choosing the display with some of the column headers, particularly with the section and date and preparing activity, may slow down the speed of the section display of the special Specsintact Explorer. This is especially true with the large master of their large number of jobs. Alright, emailing files. It's also a good idea to make the backup of your job data files daily, and a good way to do it to archive the finished job. The same function also provides the method of emailing your entire job in the zip file format. The backup of the restore management box can be accessed by the special Specsintact file menu. You must first make a backup copy of the job, then select it for emailing. Due to the file blocking at NASA, the technical support staff cannot receive zip files. If you need to send a job to Special Specsintact Technical Support with a problem resolution, contact them 321-867-8800 for instruction. To email section files, selected the Special Tax Explorer right pane, choose the section menu, email command. The functions that are sent uncompressed in the section format. Alright, your templates. There are two different types of templates for using the Specsintact. You can access both from the Specsintact Tools menu. Or your section templates. Outlining the guidelines for creating the new sections option for the creating section templates, but the tool menu should be used to create the unique section. Outlines not new sections. New sections can be created from add section dialog box. Alright, Specsintact document templates. Blank document which may be used to create a cover sheet, project information sheet, sign-off sheet, and unique documents to be used with the specifications. Alright, Specsintact tips menus. Keep in mind that the Specsintact Explorer file menu commands are the job and master level actions, while sections menu command are pertinent to individual groups and sections. Alright, your Specsintact editor format menu. Format commands access for the Specs editor format menu are font, margins, change in case, toggle information, identifying indentation amount. You should use the font margin change for the caution since they are global settings with the effect of your job of the masters. You will have the well as more report. Check the help documents for these commands and learn more about deciding whether to make changes to the defaults. Specsintact Explorer Help Menu. The Help menu can access the following on-screen help feature for the Explorer view with the display of the topic to the right pane, table of contents in the left plane, as well as offering a search capability. Specsintact website. Link directly to the Specsintact website for source of download software and masters, view the knowledge base, and keeping up with the new developments regarding with the software. Specsintact Web Help Center. Link directly with the Specsintact website for the resource additional novice and proficient users. Here you can discover the installation quick start guide, quick start, and guides of quick tours, knowledge base, and online help support. About Specsintact. Always check the Specsintact version. Remember, you are using the documents where the Specsintact is installed on your system, but important when you're contacting tech support for assistance. Alright, this is exclamation point. Check mark. Do not forget the customized editor tag bar display on the tag button. You use frequently. Use the down arrow button to the right end of the tag bar to add or remove buttons from the display. Remember that this right-click menus change depending on the actions available to the given situation. If there is something you're trying to do, you do not know how to perform it, the action, try right-clicking and see if there is a menu option for it. Alright, Specsintact tips. Specsintact tag characteristic limitations. Certain tags in Specsintact have been character limitations you should be aware of. Section title 120 characters, section number 6 characters, master format 1999, 14 characters, master format 2010, date 5 characters, article 71 characters, paragraph titles 68 characters, reference organization 511 characters, reference identifier 30 characters, reference title 300 characters, section reference 6 characters, and 14 characters, master format 2010. Table tips. For additional flexibility, tables may be placed within the text tag list tag and then item tag to allow more control in the table position. Formatting tabs, you can use the inside the tab for those underlining the italics and bold. Use the table menu, justify left, center, or right, the further text rather than using the tag that will make table editing less complicated. Apply additional tagging, referencing submittal for the etc. All information has been inserted in the table. A table can be located inside a note. Do not place the note provision tag around the table within a note. When using when using a measurement in table, the preferred method of duplicating formatting separate table of each measurement. English and metric, checking the format and turning off the tags each type of the measurement separately to ensure the cleaning format for the both. When using revision to mark up the table consideration, duplicating table first for the edit added to the template. Table the complete detail with the existing template is so it's surrounded with the delete tags in red. Alright, shortcut keys. Let's support. Let's do the Specsintact Explorer keyboard shortcuts. Control key, new job, Control J. New master, Control M. Add section, Control A. Process printing, Control P. Edit, Control E. Search and replace, Control F. Functions, keys. Screen refresh, F5. Options, 52, F2. Help, F1. Delete key. Alright, Specsintact editor keyboard shortcuts. Delete, Control D, Control copy, Control C, copy with the tags, Control E, copy without tags, Control E, find, Control F, Control H for replace, find tags, Control I, remove tags, Control M, toggle indentation, Control N, open, Control O, print draft, Control P, Control save, S, paste, Control V, cut, Control X, redo, Control Y, Control Z, undo, page break, Control Enter, functions, help key, F1, next, F3, insert tag, F4's, spell check for F7, shift function keys, revision and off and on and off, shift for F8, all toggle following screen elements on and off, Alt key tags, Alt S, notes, Alt N, revisions, Alt R, English, Alt G, metric, Alt M, both English and metric, Alt B, both marks, Alt A, Specsintact editor keyboard shortcuts, deleting tagged elements, Shift delete. Alright, in editing techniques, selecting and deleting. On the next few pages, the various techniques that can be used with the select tags and element tags. Commonly, these techniques help you become a proficient editor, so let's get started. Shift right, shift left arrow selects one character at a time. Shift control right, left arrow selects one word at a time. Shift N selects the cursor of the selects the cursor from the end of the line. Shift Home selects the cursor from the beginning of the line. Shift down and up arrow selects one line at a time in the applicable direction. Shift page down, page up selects a page at a time in applicable direction. Shift Control Home selects the cursor of the beginning of the section. Shift Control N selects the cursor at the end of the section. Alright, you can delete the tag by using Shift Delete delete keys. Shift and delete keys. Shift and delete keys can be used to delete any entire tag element, including the other tagged elements nested within the selected tags. Using the function editor must view the view tags made with the position cursor immediately with the left of the beginning of the tag element you may delete. Hold the Shift key and press the delete key. The beginning of the editing tags will be deleted along with everything between them. All the shortcuts can be deleted and any tag them. It is best for deleting entire subparts. For example, delete a subpart. Place your cursors here and Control Shift Delete. Alright, editing techniques. In this section, you will learn when you double-click the method to remove the text virus in the verse while highlighting the remove the text. The double-clicking method is preferred, but you need to remove the entire subpart level. For all other instances, you must learn how to highlight properly. This will show you how to avoid tagging issues, leaving it hard to return space throughout your document. So let's get started. Keep in mind these examples can also be used whether we're using revisions or not, but there's preferred method of editing revisions. In order to remove the entire subpart, place the cursor on the one word in the subpart title and double-click. Okay. Double-clicking again with the title will expand and select region to include the immediate surrounding text and pair tags. Alright, so we've moved to you double-click once and then you double-click again, and with the title expanded, select the region that includes the immediate surrounding tags and pair tags. Alright, editing techniques and for revisions, double-clicking method of selecting to select text. Double-clicking one or more times will expand the selected region to the entire subpart. If you need it, you can continue to this method. You have the multiple subparts or even the entire part, but you cannot select an entire section by this method. Know that you have learned to remove the subparts lets you move on to learning how to properly review the areas and thorough specification. Checkmark. Once you have become comfortable with the double-clicking method, you may want to try out the Shift-Delete shortcuts for removing the entire subpart. While revisions are most efficient with removing the key elements for the text list and item tags included in indents is by using a mouse highlight these areas and then learning to do with it correctly. It will avoid learning unnecessary spaces between the word and there throughout the specification. The best way to remove only the tag, not the text, without having to turn the revision off is use the Control shortcut key, Control M, or place the cursor between the tags and right-click and then choose Remove Tags. Alright, editing techniques for revisions, highlighting, selecting text. In this example, we will be removing the submittal fabrication drawings. Alright, Sally says, keep in mind these techniques can be used whether you edit or with or without revisions. So you started here and you pulled down to the end of the last item. To the your example of removing the submittal fabrication drawings subpart. Your submittal, you're deleting it. After will be red scored out. Explain when the tags from revisions with it hidden. No extra space when the fabrication drawing was deleted. With the example, we'll be removing the last text paragraph with the subpart. The highlight technique will be the same regardless of the last element of the subpart. So you started here and you went all the way back into the next end, ending after the closed text mark, / closed text mark. Then it will be revised with it. Then after they'll be scored with red, and examples to take the revisions hidden. No extra spaces. It'll show up with with example to tag revisions hidden. Alright, using reports to identify the finding of the fiction problem of the job to keep the producing final specification are accurate and complete. In the next few pages, we will illustrate some of the errors and discrepancies you may find and tell you how to resolve them. Do not forget the key to getting accurate results are make sure the job contains at least both 013300 submittal procedure section and 0142 reference of the reference publication section. Processing all sections, not just the sum section. Choose all three reconcile address reference and submittal checkbox for the printing process section tab. Alright, so here is your reconcile address references, submittal, and section verification tag. Also, here in the printing bob, you can choose your section, your printing, renumbering, printing process selection, renumbering, paragraphs, address, reference, and submittals. Under the section tabs, and the other ones under the report tabs. After the process report is designed for the job, proceed with the file folders. Click the folder with the Specsintact on the left pane. With the display of the files in the right pane, the reports will have the extension RPT or report red icon. Double click the report on the special index in Specsintact editor. 3 helpful hints to apply the resolving of any of the reports. We'll always check this first to see if the problem results in typical typographical error. Display the marks to check the spacing each space with the represented one dot and paragraph signal on the screen. Show the marks with using any of the editor view menu with the corresponding button with the toolbar. Double click the section number with the report to open the section editor. Where you will cursor will be placed in some emitter of the containment of the problem target. Tags are automatically hidden when they use the hyperlinking for the reports, but before making any changes, display the tags on your screen to ensure accuracy. Alright, address verification. Fix question and answer report errors and discrepancies. Error address verification report. The address verification report, ADDRVER report RPT extension file. List of the reference organs appear with any of the section reference article without the corresponding list of the 0142 source of the reference publication section of the supplemental reference list, or SRL. Remember that if you don't have a 014200 the section as part of this job, you can't use this report. Address verification verifies the sponsor organization with the reference cited with the process section text appeared with the job 014200 section. Generates a list of sponsor organization used in the section reference of the article not found in the job 014200 section. Alright, examples of the address verification results. Section reference organization 062000 Diesel Engine Manufacturer Association, or DEMA. Resolving discrepancies. If the 014200 section job already listed the reference sponsoring organization, add the sponsoring organization name, acronym, reference identifier, reference title with all the corresponding tags to the section reference article. Verifying information that you add with the section reference article is identical to the index text space capitalization one of the found in 014200 section. If the 014200 section of the job does not list the reference sponsor, add the sponsoring organization acronym, reference identifier, reference title with all corresponding tags in the section reference article. Like the reference identifier, just as you added, you just added and showed the reference from the pop of the menu. Click yes and promote automatically add the reference for the submittal reference list, which will open so that you can perform the addition. Open your job 014200 section, add sponsoring organization name, acronym, and address, phone, fax numbers, email address, website addresses with corresponding tags, making certain the text and space capitalization identical with the listing of the added with the reference article. Alright, question and answer report errors and discrepancies. Reference verification report. The reference verification report actually produces a separate listing duplicate reference of the DUPREREF extension RPT, reference title description TTLDIFFS .RPT extension, and reference verification REFER .report. Reference verification compares the reference for each section of the list, each section reference in each section text with those reference articles and supplemental reference list. Notifies discrepancy produced in the 3 separate reports that are duplicated with the reference conflicting titles and unresolved different references. Your duplicate reference, the duplicated reference extension DUPEREF extension RPTT, all the references that are found with the reference articles, duplicated supplemental reference list, and the reference description listed on the report are from the supplemental reference list. All right, this shows the example of the difference reference results section reference NESI B61 Army National American National Standard Institute forged steel fighting fittings and socket welding and ASTM unit weight and voids and aggregated. Resolving duplicating with the reference to the section reference articles again so the supplemental reference list for the duplicate the identical both locations. Example the same text space for the capitalization. Remove the duplicate of the supplemental reference list. If the duplicate is the difference for the title date for the engineer should review the publication to determine the applicable section. The supplemental reference list contains the reference and the edit of the section reference article to correct then move the duplicate of the section supplemental reference list. Section reference articles contains the correct reference. Remove the duplicate from the SR supplements professional reference list. All corrections are made running the reference reconciliation again. Our fixing question and answer report errors and discrepancy reference verification report. Reference title discrepancy titled TTL-DIFFS report is a reference identifier of the conflicting reference title in two or more section reference articles. The example of the title discrepancy report shows the section it is in the reference to the EMATC2 has showed up twice, and there's electrical plastic tubing and continuity electrical plastic continuity EP40 and EP80. Or resolving reference title description, comparing titles and determining whether the correct publication of the publication date for the engineer should be publication to determine the apply of the section, edit the section of the reference article so they are all reflect the correct title and date of the publication. Unresolved references. REFVER report, our extension report with the reference appeared with the section test but not in the supplemental reference article and supplemental reference list. Or you have your highlighted section, the subpart, and the reference from where your example of unresolved. That references. Correcting unresolved reference. Add the reference and reference title, which include the publication date with either the reference article and supplemental reference list. If you made the change to the supplemental reference list and the reference reconciliation, again, automatically insert in the reference articles. Alright, fixing the question and answer reports on discrepancy submittal the verification report. The submittal verification report SUBMVER.RPT extension is used to report problems the result of the improper use of the submittal. The report is divided into two sections. The first section of the report section did not cite supplemental items. Both in the submittal action articles explained elsewhere in the text, while the site of the invalid classification of the containing submittal description classification outside the submittal article. This second section is the report submittal with the description submittal procedures section 013300 that are missing from it. Exclamation Sally says, exclamation point. Remember, if you do not have the 013300 section as part of your job, you cannot use this report. Submittal verifications. Check the submittal items are both in the section submittal article and also sections text. Generate the submittal items missing either of the locations seen in example A. Check the submittal description used in the section submittal articles are listed in the job 013300 section. And generate submittal descriptions missing with the 013300 in section C example B. Alright, section example A with the submittal verification results. You see the submittal discrepancy. Title in the text and the section number and some part number. Fixed question and answers, reports and answer errors and discrepancies. Submittal verification report. Creating a submittal verification discrepancy. Submittal item appeared with the submittal discrepancy number. Submittal article nowhere with the section test added with the submittal item with the appropriate point within the text and delete with the submittal article. The submittal item located within the text not in the submittal article. Consult your engineer to determine one of the following methods of the correction appropriate. Insert the submittal article below the correct submittal description number. Remove the subtags around the item within the tag. Delete both the item and the subtag from the text. Submittal discrepancies and classifications of G of the government approved can only appear with the submittal article. Any situation with the text outside submittal articles must be deleted. Example B, submittal verification shows the standard section and in blue and in invalid description in your description. Correcting submittal verification discrepancies. Submittal description number used in the job must be listed in the job 013300 section. If the submittal description reports is valid, submittal is not found in section 013300 that added to the other 013300. Submittal description reported invalid must be changed with one of 11 valid numbers cited with the 013300 section for the omitted from the section. Alright, frequently fixing question and answer report, discrepancies, bracket verification section of verification report. The bracket verification report or the BRKTVER.RPT lists all the brackets remaining in this section that have been removed and placed in text before job is complete. The example bracket is results as shown in the section number 013300. Shows the subpart in the bracket numbers in each section in subpart. Resolving bracket verification. Brackets that inadvertently left in the text. Delete the bracket. The bracket option if the text left in the text selection must be made or information filled into the brackets deleted. Consult with your engineer to determine the correct option included. Or the section verification report, SECTVER.RPT extension, any of the section that references to one section of the job, but they are not part of the job. Examples, the section 013300 subpart was 1412 and its section references. So section verification, check to see that all the sites are in the text are included with the job, generate the list of the section references that are not included in the job. Section reference tag should only contain the section number, the section reference tag, SRF tag, and 0993.009 close section reference tag. Closing it. Reference section verification discrepancy. Check with the engineer to determine if you should add the reference section to the job. Remove the text and reference of the missing section. Alright, report list. Reference locations middle test list. The reference list, the REFKYLEST.RPT includes the reference type of the job followed by the section or subpart names where they can be found. Shows the section of in the title heading of the title CFR 1910, 120, and 1200 sections and subparts. Submittal list of the SMUBMLIST report includes a submittal description from the submittal articles along with the section subparts, and they can be found in this submittal description. Definitions are tracked in the 013300. Alright, now you see the sections different have been highlighted in pink. Test requirements listed in the TSTRRQLST.RPT include the test requirements cited in the text along with the section subparts in which they can be found. Section, and it is also provided. The red shows the burgundy shows the provided concrete time and location placement as follows. Alright, your submittal registry is a list of the materials, product, of the item, the submittal cited on the job, as well as the section, paragraph number, and locations as required approval. The submittal registry is generated with the system search for the submittal article within part 1 of each of the section. Locates all the tags, submittal description listed in each of the section submittal article. Locates the submittal item with the period with the submittal descriptions throughout the section, and generated with the submittal registry with the insert with the small part location each of the submittal item in this section test out. Side of the submittal articles. The submittal register does not appear with the special Specsintact Explorer. Proceed with the files forward with the way to do other reports. This is listed. However, the print with the retrieve of the process of the print. If you wish to, if you're publishing in PDF, you will appear with the PDF files folder in the Specsintact folder. Explorer you can view in that format. Troubleshooting in the submittal register. Problem. Column F, classification government A&E reviewer, it has double GG. The submittal item is listed twice in the submittal article under the same cause. The submittal item is listed twice in the submittal article under the same submittal description. Column E, paragraph pound is blank. The submittal item is only found in the submittal article. There's no use for anywhere in the section text. A&E has appeared with the column D instead of column F. The classification G must proceed reviewer as follows. FIO appears in column D instead of column F. The FIO is no longer recognized by the Unified Guideline Specs. Submittal register should not be used in the submittal article. Alright, Specsintact version 4.42 do offer the output options additional Specsintact printed with the submittal register. First provided with the web format, and second with a common delimited with the format, and third Microsoft Excel format. So now you're in the submittal registration of the web format, you created a web file, or the use color, change row color, and do not color row section number. Every row, common deleted formats, create down in Excel format, file names, options, email options. All three outputs can be generated at the same time separately. The file requires the Windows Explorer in order to access the item located in the job working with the directory. Exports file folder as is numeric special Specsintact data jobs. Exports falling under numeric. Fixing validation errors, general information helping hits. On the next view page of the giving, going to learn how the validation errors are generated through the Specsintact editor while tagging mistakes are made. We'll illustrate some of the more common validation errors guided through the correction of them. Alright, question. How do you validate my section file? There's several ways to invoke the validation. This can be done with the saving the section file, selecting Tools Validation on the Selection Editor toolbars, or the Validation button, which looks like a tag on a check mark. Sally says, before you're correcting any of the reports generated, special attacks should familiarize yourself with the helpful hints listed below. Knowing these techniques will make locating problems, correcting problems much easier. Alright, helpful hints to apply reports of any of the reports. Double-click the section number of the report within one section and edit the recursal place in the submit contained in the problem. Tags are automatically added. Use the hyperlink from the reports before making any changes. Display the tags on your screen to ensure accuracy. Display the marks and checking spacing each space with the representative of the one dot or screen that shows the marks. The common man editor paragraph editing view with the corresponding button on the toolbar. Always check the first to see if the problem is a result of typographical error. Use the second button, close the editor to close the report. Return to your section file illustrated below, the vice versa. Second close button. Fixing validation errors, resolving unknown title. Alright, validation, subpart 2.1, unknown title. Resolving a subpart that has no title. To learn more about the proper editing, refer to the section entitled Editing Techniques at the beginning of the chapter. The error of the result of deleting a title or text rather than an entire subpart, often caused by highlighting incorrect editing without tag, showing the illustrated below how the beginning deleted tag is just in front of the title tag. The beginning of the deleted tag shows be in the front of the subpart tag. The subpart tag. So it was wrong to be in front of the delete tag, and it should be in front of the this is before, and it should be before the SPT tag, in front of this tag right here. Right? Note that 3 agency with the revision to show the added deleted specimen tag automatically turns them on when creating the new project. Keep in mind, same editing technique can be used whether you're editing the revisions or not. The two ways to correct the problem: place the cursor on the left side at the beginning of the subpart tag, press the shift and delete keys, or double-click the method using selected and re-encompassing the entire subpart tag, and then press delete key, highlighting illustration. As you can see, we're continuing with this. Highlighting the illustration after, and then right after that, instead of your deletion will come from the deleted before the subpart, before the new subpart. I've looked into the problem section. Everything looks fine, but I'm still getting validation error for the unknown. You could be wrong. There's one problem that will result in an unknown title error that we'll have corrected yet. Verify the title surrounding the set title tags. If you do not need, insert the tag around the title. Beginning with the title tag is missing in front of the subpart, and ending of the title tag is missing from after the subpart. The illustration of the title of the subtitle item is make sure that they encompass subtags when you highlight with the title button or the TTL button on the toolbar. Alright, removing the subpart cannot contain organization reference, identity error, reference title. Although validation reports reflect the number of the errors inserted in one tag can be resolved all the problems. So the reference tag article can list anywhere from the one of the reference organization. You may find yourself correcting and tagging the beginning, of the middle, and end of the reference article. Illustrated below the reference organization located in the middle of the reference article, but the reference have not been first one listed the word begin end of the reference tag and preceding the beginning with the organization tag. The reference says precedes the organization tag. Beginning of the reference tag is missing. At the end of the reference tag is missing from at the end of the references before the next organization. All right, let's start correcting these problems. Start here. Highlight the text and insert the reference tags. The reference organization illustrated missing reference tags. Highlighting the reference organization include the reference identifiers titles. Insert the reference tags correctly. Always start with the placing the cursor on the left side of the beginning of the org tag, and press and hold the left mouse button, highlighting the text for the research. The following reference tags is illustrated. Now that you have an area highlighted, release the mouse button, select the reference button on the tags bar and references. Alright, now you have the right location references. Fixed validation arguments. Resolving the references validation errors. Now that we have learned how to insert the reference tag around the reference organization in the beginning and the middle of the reference article, we'll learn how to correct the last one. Beginning of the reference of the tag is missing. End of the reference tag is missing. The next subpart. Remember to easily step that correction for the problem the same as those for the previous page, but the only difference is the reference organization is the last one, reference article. Alright, how to insert the reference tag. Space it between inside the reference. Start here in front of the reference tag. Highlighting to insert the reference tag and start and end there. The reference organization missing the reference tag, highlighting the reference organization, including the reference identifier titles. You can also reference tag correctly. Always start the placing of the cursor on the left side of the beginning of the org tag. Press and hold down the left mouse button, highlighting the text of it. You reach the end with the subpart tag are illustrated. Now that you have been highlighted, release the mouse button, then select the reference button on the tags bar reference. Alright, now you have the right location of reference inside your closed reference tag, which was the before reference, and now in between the subpart of the in between the references. Your reference item identifier. But now you have better equipped with the correct type for the validation order. Keep in mind that Specsintact verifies several other types of tagging problems that can validation of one of the other validation emerge. You may now sure how to fix them. Contact your technical support desk for assistance. Alright, back up your job. The backing up function to make the copy of your job is a good idea, but especially before executing a revision, since one of these marked or changed with except for the permanent and cannot be reversed on a new command. The Specsintact folder, Specsintact Explorer file menus, click Backup and Restore Manage, and then from the Backup screen, click the Jobs tab. In the text box, select the job that you want to back up. Then include the backup of the area with the dialog black shift for the box if you want the backup of the process files, PDF files, or Word document, and any part of the job. If the backup to the destination area, the dialog box, shoot for the drive with the pull down list for the directory box, click the select folder if you want to save the backup. If you want to create a new folder with a backup, add the name of the path by typing the backslash and folder name of the back path text of the box. If backup type the area, select either of the following normal format, makes individual copies of all the files contained in the job, or archive zip format, compresses all the files into a single file requiring less space, requires the email function required for the email function of the Restore Send tab. 9. Check the box before deleting existing files. Backup directory will delete any type of the files, not just previous backups. They will already exist in the folder. Should be used with extreme caution. Or restoring a job from backup. Whether the job is the with the former job, you may want to take an archive backup to create with the Specsintact. Restore the additional with the same function as use. Additional download master to the default working directory of Specsintact Explorer. From Specsintact Explorer, click the file menu, choose the backup, the Restore Manage, click the Restore Manage tab, click the Restore from the area of the dialog box, drive folder and file you want to restore the information on the backup, choose the answer of the box on the right side screen, show the name of the file, but the name appearing with the right reads indicates the proper name that already exists. You can choose overwriting existing files while completely removing the files if you use it under the name of the original directory to replace them with the backup files, or merge with existing files which replace all the files in the same name with the backup versions. Will also add any of the additional files over the backup that they do not already exist in the working directory version, and click OK. You can only change the working directory designation, change with the name of the project you are restoring. Or existing revisions. Executing revisions with one of the last phase of the project. Make sure that you back up the job before executing revisions so that you back up the containing the revisions. To accept all the revisions in the mark through the entire job, both additions and deletions from the Specsintact Explorer, select the job folder located in the left pane, select the file menu, choose execute revisions, then conform the selection to the executing revision dialog box will open the selected sections highlight. Select the OK executing revision for the entire job. To accept the revisions, add the section from the Specsintact Explorer, select the job. Specsintact Explorer, select the job in the left pane. On the right pane, select one or more sections. 3. Select the sections menu and choose the executed revision. Conform the section for the executed revision dialog box. Open the selected section listed, highlighted. Click OK. Mark revisions, and only the section which will become permanent. Once the options listed above the done change become permanent, the change will not appear with the regular text. Will carry attributes with the tag that enclose them. After the executed revisions, they'll have been permanently changed by this function, temporarily displayed with the left pane of the Specsintact folder in a folder called Revised Files located under the job folder. There are actual section files, and do not delete them from the folder, or they will be permanently moved from your job. Alright, your job checklist. Make sure that you have most recent software masters if necessary to download a new version of the Specsintact website. Print the master table of the scope, content of the scope with a list of the section number, the title, the brief description of each of the section of the master. Give a list of the project manager with the section necessary for the job to determine whether the project manager returns the section requested before printing them, whether they should be English or metric for the unit measure. Make sure that they show the notes. Create the job adding section request, but remember that the software automatically has to add two sections 013300, 014200, which is necessary for the processing the job. Begin editing. Remember to always edit with the tag visible with the screen. You can also tag on and off marker notes of the revisions if using the revisions. Save your section often as you edit. When you will do it, produce a validation report that will flag certain mistakes. Validation report can be turned on and off from the tools option save screen. Using the process print publish button function, generate the reports, perform reconciliation process for the entire job accuracy, correct any errors, discrepancies you found. Do not forget to return the reports after any change until the finding is resolved. Run a spell check after all changes are made. Visually checking the format, toggling off and off all the screen elements, checking the spacing lines. Generally, you should have one blank line between paragraphs. Two tag marks being back on them before deleting any of the blank lines. Create a finished job, selecting reconciliation option, choosing the output type of the desires. The Specsintact PRN file can be sent directly to the printer with a PDF or Word files are produced electronically. The files can be printed with the proper printed to paper throughout the Specsintact Explorer. Remember, the submittal register is not visible in the Specsintact Explorer except PDF, nor is it an RTF cover sheet that can be produced by using the Word from your output format. Do not forget to make a backup of your job. Alright, wrap up. Support problems encountered commonly. I think I'm prepared to use Specsintact, but I have a few questions. Can I call tech support for assistance? Shirley and Shav report. Of course you can. Specsintact support staff, we happily answer your questions. It's better than you ask if you make a serious mistake until you spend hours working on the job. Only find out you need hours more to correct it. Don't forget to help there. Use the help menu as you work issue. The Specsintact website has resources as well. What you learned in this chapter here, how to use the shortcuts on the techniques to edit more efficiently than we use specific rules regarding the using of symbols and capitalization text. Using resolve the question and answer reports helps to locate the problem section, fix text. Help information provided with various lists are generated during processing. An archive job can be restored with using Specsintact Explorer. Using a job checklist, you make a certain job the file completed all the necessary steps to finish your job. Sully hopes you found her guide helpful. If you feel any comments or feedback regarding this guide, please feel free to pass along with the Specsintact tech support. Alright, that's blank, and then there's technical support. And your technical support is at email ksxc@specsintact.gov or http://xsl.ksc.nasa.gov. Phone number 321-867-8800. Fax number 321-8867-1444. And that completes the